computer. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Metastellar YouTube channel. Or if you're here for the first time, we're an online publication that offers free speculative fiction to our readers. That's fantasy, science fiction, and horror. The links are in the description box below. Every Friday, AMIRA LOUTFI, our reviews editor, hi AMIRA, we read the top 10 best-selling books on the Amazon science fiction and fantasy free book list. So these are completely free and in the science fiction or fantasy genres, links below. We don't always finish all these books, but we usually get through at least 1 or 2 chapters before we decide what we think of the book. And today we've got no vampires. Today we have werewolves and witches and space battles and aliens and more witches and a bunch of dragons. So let's get into it. All right. So the first book, I'm the one who was looking at this. Why don't I pull it up? It's called The Pain Colony. Here it is. I don't know if you can see this. Here we go. So it's The Pain Colony. And it's kind of like a medical techno thriller kind of book. And it has to do with a weird cult and kind of creepiness and genetic modification and that kind of stuff. And I started reading it and it creeped me out. So if you like creepy books, then this is a book for you. Me, not so much. I kind of like things that are a little bit on the kind of the lighter side to read. So I kind of stopped reading it about 3 chapters in or so because it started getting really, really creepy. But if you like creepy books, this is the right season to read those. And the next book, AMIRA read, and it's called Ultraxenopia. And AMIRA, can you tell us what it's about?
Yeah, so I mean, I really enjoyed this book. This was actually my favorite for this week that I read. It is dystopian, right? It takes place about 40 years in the future. It's about this young girl, right? She's 18. And well, I mean, I read the first chapter and then I skimmed the second to get an idea of what happens. But basically, okay, this is the plot that it seems to be going for. She goes in to, take an exam after, studying for 13 years in school. And if she passes the exam, she gets to continue her career. And if she fails, she's going to get punished for a year. And then she's going to just have a string of horrible jobs, basically.
Okay.
So, yeah. And so in this world, you're not allowed to, be friendly or fidget or seem curious about anything. So it's really I'm not entirely sure how the author is going to explain that part or that element of the world building. But there's also terrorist attacks going on, and the main character, she's in the first scene, she's going to this exam, and then she passes out in the middle of the examination. Yeah.
So this sounds like a Hunger Games or a Divergent kind of book.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I mean, I don't know what the consequences are for passing out in the middle of the exam, but it's probably inspired by those 2 books.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was enjoying it. I'm like, dude.
All right. And the next one is Never a Dragon. Let me pull that up so you can see that. Here it is. And it's also one of those young adult coming of age stories. And This girl is around 17. She's been raised by a dragon, so she's a shapeshifter. She and her mom are shapeshifters. They shift into dragons and human form, set in modern day. But her mother is an actual dragon, but she herself is not an actual dragon. She's a shape-shifting magic user. And her mother's been keeping her secret from all the other dragons. And she's not her actual biological mother. She rescued her from an attack on a bunch of mages. So there's like this battle going on. It's a present day kind of book, an urban fantasy, and the mages are at war with the dragons. And so, and this girl, wants to know what all the fuss is about. Why won't her mother let her talk to any other dragons? And so she's doing the rebellious teenager thing. And I'm like, all right, I'm out. I've had teenagers, and all my sympathies with the mom. Stop that, stop rebelling, stay home, So I am not the target audience for this book, but it's definitely very fun. I think she's going to be going to a dragon school that's opened up to allow mages. And I hate books about school because, again, I've been to school, done school, don't want to go back to school. But it's a really common trope in young adult urban fantasy kind of books. So it definitely moves well. It's fast paced. So for people who like those kind of books, I really recommend it. All right. So what's next? You read the next one.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish that I did, because judging by the cover, that looked really cute. Let me pull that cover up so you can see that. So here's the cover, and it's called Imperfectly Perfect Witch. Doesn't that that looks so cute?
Yeah.
You don't look enthused.
So yeah, I'm not the target audience for this book, but I was pleasantly surprised by this book. So you want me to just go into the rundown?
Yeah, sure. What'd you think of it? What it's about?
Okay, so it's a cozy mystery. It takes place in a small town that reminded me a lot of what's it called? Stars Hollow from the Gilmore Girls.
All right.
And in this town, people have recently decided to integrate between like the magic and non-magic people, right? Which, yeah, and so there's some like, I don't know, magic / non-magic tension, I guess, in the town. And the protagonist owns a tea shop, not a tea shop. She owns a magical like enchanted elixirs shop, right? Which I don't know, but yeah, and her neighbor is really upset with her one day because she found out that her daughter got engaged to her to the protagonist's brother, right? And so she doesn't want to have her daughter marrying into a magical family because she just hates magic, right? And then the mother threatens to kill her. And this is like the witch mother, right? The magical mother threatens to kill her or suggests it, right? And then the one of her other kids, who's also like a witch, threatens her, right? And then at the engagement party, the neighbor is there, and she's like the business neighbor living next door, not living next door, like she works next door, right? She dies at the engagement party. She has an allergic reaction to something. Her throat like puffs up, and she can't breathe. She doesn't get her, what is it called, like epinephrine soon enough. I think that's it, right? They need epinephrine, right?
EpiPen.
Yeah. So she doesn't get it soon enough, and she dies. And so that is probably the mystery that everyone's trying to solve. Like, wait, how's that a mystery? Okay.
Is she deliberately poisoned?
You know what?
Did they think the witch poisoned her because she threatened to kill her?
Probably, yeah. So that's probably what happened. Probably that's what happens, right?
So is it
We don't
funny
really have-
and cute? And were the threats kind of like over the top, not meant seriously? Or is it like a really grim kind of
Oh no, it's
witchcraft
funny
book?
and cute. It's
It's
funny and
funny,
cute.
cute.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's funny and cute. It's cutesy.
Oh, okay. I like
Mhm.
cutesy. I
Yeah.
have like really weird taste in books. I like some
Mhm.
things that are like hard sci-fi, and then I like things that are really cutesy and funny and have cartoony covers. So yeah.
Mm.
All right, let's move on to speaking of space operas. Um, this is called Any Job Will Do. And let me spotlight that for you. Here it is. Oh, and I got a Band-Aid because I cut myself while cutting things with scissors. So sorry about that. So this is a space opera kind of book. And our protagonist is a smuggler who delivers things for people that maybe aren't fully legal. And he's sent on a mission to retrieve some like aid workers from a planet that has a civil war going on. So the guy reminds me a little bit of a Han Solo kind of guy. And he's got a snide AI on his ship, kind of helping him, and a snide droid also. And so it's kind of a fun action book. This is definitely my kind of book, and it's my second favorite book on today's list. And I recommend it highly. And it's the first of 3 books in a series. Oh, which I forgot to mention about the previous books. So the previous book, the Imperfectly Perfect Witch, was also the first in a series, and the Dragon book was the first of 6 books in a series, and the Ultraxenopia Dystopian Future is the first of 3 books in a series, and the Pain Colony is the first of 2 books in a series. So I love reading series because it's hard for me to keep track of people, and learning a whole new set of characters with every book is annoying. So I really love reading series. So I like that about it. In this series, the other 2 books are going to cost money, $2.99, $3.99 each, and they're not in Kindle Unlimited. So I mean, do I like this? I like this book. Do I like it enough to pay $3 for the next one? I'll see when I finish it. All right. And now back to you, AMIRA. We're going to switch to the Heart Ladder, right? Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
let me show that to you guys so you can see it. So this is the cover of the Heart Ladder.
And it is the author's debut novel.
Okay, so not a series.
No. The cover, what? Okay, so the cover. Okay, so it's described as a psychological thriller, but from reading the first like chapter and a half, it really doesn't seem that way at all. It's basically about a young girl. She's 23. She's pregnant. She just inherited her aunt's English cottage, and she's so happy to be, traveling from New York to, to London to go find the cottage and claim her ownership over it. So she's really happy about that. But the thing that sort of confused me is how this is science fiction or fantasy, right? Like I don't think it really is. Initially I thought, okay, maybe it's a sci-fi because she's one of the few women that still exists. That's not something I was thinking. Okay, because
like a
like
Handmaid's Tale kind of thing.
yeah. It's like she's pregnant and everyone's staring at her everywhere she goes, and they're all guys. So I'm like, okay, but then it doesn't make yeah. So that idea, and also like I feel like the author kind of did suggest it in like the first page that she's like the last woman or one of the last women, but it doesn't
Maybe
really.
she's one of the last women in the family or in the whole world.
I don't know. I don't see how that would add up with like the rest of the story
Hmm.
and where it was going. I mean, there were definitely a lot of old ladies in the story, but it's like if she's a woman and like one of the last women, then how is she going to be able to like travel safely and just like drive around and stuff and whatever, you know? And then then we have like the first like the first scene that might be a little bit like psychologically thrilling, which basically she thinks that she hears a woman screaming and getting attacked by something. Like when she, one of the first nights she's like in the cottage, right?
Hmm.
But then she's terrified and she wants to do something, but then she doesn't.
Is it haunted?
Mm. Um, I don't know. I didn't get that far. I was just like, okay, I was really not enjoying this one.
Okay, okay,
I
yeah.
really didn't enjoy it. Yeah, there's a lot of description though, so I mean, a lot of people like it. So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, there you go.
there you go. All right. Moving on. So this book is called Defiance. Uh, Come on, let's pull it up. Here it is, Defiance. And by the font choice, I was thinking that it's kind of a Western book, but it's not. It's not a Western. Seems to be like a standard werewolf urban fantasy. And it's doesn't seem to be a romance, or at least not heavily a romance. And it's told from the wolf's point of view, who's male, and there's no like naked male chests on the cover. So uh it I don't think it's going to be like a heavy, steamy romance kind of book. I don't think it's a Western. Um and I got like a couple of chapters into it. And so this werewolf has some kind of problem with the werewolf gang and tries to escape from them and gets hurt in the escape and then hit by a car. And the person who hits him with the car takes him home to his family. And the family, like his sister is a vet and patches up. They think the guy who hit him thought he was a dog. So he brings him home to the only vet he knows, his sister. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, this isn't a dog, it's a wolf, you're an idiot." But they sedate it, they put a muzzle on it, they patch it up, and then the wolf comes to inside this cage, figures out a way out of it. It tries to escape by jumping out the window, gets hurt again by the glass. The vet, the sister, goes outside in the middle of the night to look for it and talks the wolf into coming back to the house for further treatment. So, and the wolf's like, "Oh, the pack that he's trying to escape from is going to come after the family and hurt them if I don't come back and defend them." And I'm like, really? I don't really buy it. He's kind of been wounded twice. How much use is he really practically going to be to this family? And also, I got the sense that the wolves are like their existence is a secret, because the vet's brother says, "Oh, he might be a werewolf because it's the full moon," and everybody laughs at him because he's an idiot and he believes conspiracy theories on the internet. So, like, why would this clan of wolves, kill a family just for picking our protagonist up? So I don't know. But I wasn't that like excited about it. Um, and the main character didn't really grip me very much. His only goal seems to be to escape, and then he kind of like abandoned his goal of escaping to like stay with his family that he just literally just met. So he seems kind of flighty to me. And in not like in a fun kind of amusing way, but kind of like a confused way. Anyway, not my kind of book, but definitely readable. I mean, it was well written. I could see getting into it. but it's just not for me. So and it's the first of 6 books in the series, by the way. So and clearly other people do like it, and there's plenty of other books. So if you do like it, there's plenty of them to read. The other books are $5 each, but they're all in Kindle Unlimited. So if you have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, they're all going to be free. So let's go on to the Anomalous Secret. So here's the cover of the book, the Anomalous Secret, and it's the first of 4 books, and it's billed as a young adult sci-fi romance. So is that right?
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure if that's right. It's probably a typo. I think it's described as like a young adult sci-fi fantasy and a young adult sci-fi romance. So I'm not really, I mean, I'm kind of leaning more towards fantasy rather than romance. Yeah.
So what's it about?
So it is about a family that all have superpowers. And I don't know what the youngest power is, or the father, but you know, I think that would come up just as it became relevant to the plot, right? But yeah, so basically they all have superpowers and they are running away from a group of people called the Trackers, or at least the protagonist calls them the Trackers, right? Her name is Sophie. She has a twin brother. Sophie's power is that she can manipulate memories, create illusions in other people's minds, and control other people's minds to a limited degree, right? Her twin brother is able to control fire. The mother is able to make anyone feel really calm just with a touch. And their little brother, who's like a baby, I don't know what his power is, but apparently his blood like glows blue. He has blue glowing blood. Yeah, so they're just constantly moving around, and Sage, you know, she fell in love in the last school she was in.
Mm-hmm.
She and her brother are what, like seniors now, right? I think they're 18. And she is so heartbroken. But I haven't gotten into that part. I haven't gotten there yet to find out like what is that about? Is how relevant is it really? And yeah, and so it kind of seems like it kind of seems like a mix of like it's kind of like a coming of age story with superpowers, right?
Yeah.
Like there's, Sage, she she's heartbroken, she's with her family, they're uprooted a lot and moving around a lot. So I could totally understand, like, if you imagine it in your head as like a movie, or like an illustrated movie, I guess, like how it could be like really enjoyable. So yeah, I guess if I mean, I can understand how other people like it, like, to be honest, like really, I could
It
see how
sounds kind of like one of those teen alien sci-fi shows like Roswell or something, where everyone has superpowers and they're on the run.
they're on the run. Maybe. I mean, I've never seen Roswell. Is it good?
I haven't seen it either. I know it has teenagers with superpowers in it, but they're all aliens, I think. So I don't know where these guys get their superpowers because I haven't read this book. But it definitely sounds like the premise of a TV show.
Yeah. No, I'm sure. I mean, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Stranger Things too. How like, what's her name? The girl, 11, is like, constantly being chased by mysterious, people that like we don't even know who they are, but they're dangerous. Yeah.
All right. So next is my favorite book of the lot. And in fact, I am actually reading it right now. I could not put it down. And then once we get off this taping, we'll go back to reading it. It's Lit RPG. So Lit RPG, story set in a video game world. So the first book is called the station core. And the station core is kind of like this metal ball with a computer inside of it. And there's a war going on between different aliens, and the aliens are all peace-loving, and they're being attacked by really aggressive aliens, and the peace-loving ones, what are they going to do? So they decide to recruit some humans to do their fighting for them. And because we humans are so aggressive. So they kidnap, 100 humans and upload their minds into these cores, these metal balls with computers inside, which kills the original bodies of the humans, and kind of send them off to fight these aliens. Except that on the way to battle, this guy's the alien kidnapper ship is attacked, blown up, and he only survives because he's inside this impenetrable core, crash lands on a planet with time dilation. It's now 4,000 years in the future. He has an AI assistant, and he has to figure out how to survive on this planet when he's really just a simulation, inside this metal robot thing. And the way the world works is like a video game. He gets stats. He has to complete quests, and it's a resource kind of game. He has to he has some droids that he uses to mine earth, that he turns into bricks that he uses to build a tunnel, that kind of thing. It's very much like playing a game. Reading lit RPG books, especially the ones that have the in-game stat kind of progression in them, it's kind of like watching somebody play a video game. So it's a super popular genre right now. We got books like Tron and The Matrix and Ready Player One that are kind of set in a video game world, but without the whole stat progression thing. And then there's like the more hardcore lit RPG, where it has all the video game mechanics in it of a massively multiplayer online role-playing game. So it has those mechanics in it. And the aliens forcing humans to play a game is also becoming like a trope in the lit RPG kind of circles. I recently read Dungeon Crawler Carl, which I love and recommend that series. Aliens force humans to play a video game to survive. And there's a book called Headspace by J.E. Edwin, also has humans fighting kind of a virtual game, because of aliens. So those are both recent. So I really enjoy this book. I cannot put it down. I'm addicted to these. I'm probably going to finish that. I'm like halfway through it already. I'm going to probably finish it in the next couple of hours as soon as I'm done filming this. I love this. This is exactly like my kind of book. And the author has not just these 5 books in a series, all of which you get as part of this download, but he's got a whole bunch of other books that are kind of similar series. So I'm really looking forward to this. This is my jam. Yeah. And I'm a little embarrassed to admit it, but they're a lot of fun. It's like watching somebody play a video game, and it's very soothing and enjoyable, to me at least. And so, but we have one more book to talk about. It's called The Dragoneer. Let me pull that up here for everybody to see the cover. The Dragoneer, there it is, by Vickie, Knestaut, and Danny Knestaut, whatever. So there you go. So another book about dragons. The first of 8 books in a series, and they're all in Kindle Unlimited. So what do you think?
I mean, it was kind of fun. I mean, it was fun. I mean, okay, so for one thing, so if I were at a bookstore and I saw the cover, I would pick it up, basically, right? I'd pick it up and I'd spend a few minutes looking at it. Would I actually buy it? Probably, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, so okay, so the basic story is that our protagonist, right? Her name is Tristan, and her father is the Dragoneer, and she's his only kid. And the Dragoneer is, kind of a big deal, I guess you could say. I'm not 100% sure about like the entire world, how the whole world is, but it's obvious from like, what I read that like, oh yeah, the Dragoneer is cool, and kind of important. And so his daughter, he's really discouraging to her when it comes to like, you know, just her, just he's just mean to her in general, right? She is, taking care of the dragons. She feeds them, gives them water and stuff. And she's working with like a few other people, right? There's a few others who also do the same job as her, but she's different from them because she can actually like understand the dragons, right? She can kind of communicate with them one way telepathically, right? And so she wants to, be the next Dragoneer, which I don't know if I said that already, but that's basically her goal, right? So she has a thing she wants to do. And it's like, she has a good relationship also with the dragons. And in this world, in order to be like, to be good with a dragon, you have to have a good relationship, right? You gotta like be, I don't know, close or whatever. I think that's kind of common for like these dragon books, right?
Right, Riders of Pern, you have to like bond with the dragons, I think. It's been a
Yeah,
while since I read them.
yeah. You have to have like a special bond or
Yeah.
build a bond. And like nobody else has as good of a bond with them as she does. But because she's a girl,
Oh.
her father is like, gross. You and dragons, stop. You're just like a caretaker for these dragons. You're not going to be the Dragoneer. And she's like, oh, yes, I am internally. And so, yeah, and so that's like kind of exciting because you can imagine like there's going to be this event, which will determine who the next Dragoneer will be. And it's kind of obvious that like Tristan is gonna do something really impressive and cool at the event. Either that or she's gonna flop and then do something really cool after the event. Right? So yeah, so it's obvious. I think that that's basically what the plot is.
Mhm.
It's like she has to prove
I
she has
love the Dragon Riders of Pern books.
uh-huh.
Like I think I read them all, and there's like a million of them.
Oh, wow. Wait, what is it called?
The
Dragon Riders
Dragon
of...
Riders of Pern by Anne McCaffrey.
Oh.
Yes,
Is it
so
an
they're
adult?
a kind of young adult books,
Mhm.
and they're about people flying dragons, and there's a war on, and there's dimensional travel and telepathic communication with the dragons, and anyway, it's fun. Classic series of books, and they just go on and on. I couldn't even tell you how many books there are in the series, and definitely one of the highlights of classic science fiction.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I like it. I love the cover too. Yeah.
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 So Wikipedia says there are 23 novels in the series.
In the Dragon Riders of Pern.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, great books. I highly recommend them. All right, so I think that's it. Anything else you want to say about any of these books? Because I want to go back to that lit RPG thing with the alien metal ball. It sounds so stupid when I describe it, but I could not put the book down. I swear.
I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
Did you finish reading any of the books from last week?
No, but I'm halfway through one of them. The one that was called, okay, I've forgotten it already. The creepy one. It was really, really good. I want to get in touch with the author of that book because it was like really, really good.
Called the
it-
Drek or something?
the Drek, yes.
The Drek.
Drek. It was awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But then I get distracted by this lit RPG book. So
Yeah.
I
mean,
might never get back to the Drek. Sorry, Drek. But you know.
All right, cool. So I almost finished one from last week, and it surprised me. It was Lipstick and Lies and Delta Goodbyes. I
All
almost
right,
finished
the
it.
vampire mystery book.
Yeah. And yeah, like I did not think that I was actually gonna pick it up again, but I did. I was like, anyways. So yeah, I just wanted to know. I was just curious.
Yep.
So,
But I'm like 99.9% certain that I'm going to finish this lit RPG book before this day is through.
oh, wow.
I really like it.
I'm probably gonna download it because you're making me so curious. Yeah.
It's a stupid premise. It's so cheesy. I can't believe how cheesy it is. I can't stop reading it. All right, so I'm gonna go record this and post it. If you guys want to see more like this, please subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you back. And we publish original fiction, and our fall submission cycle is currently open. So check that out. We already have more than 100 submissions. So it's looking to be a big season again for us this year. And we pay for our original fiction and keep it free for all our readers through the kind support of our Patreon contributors. And the link to that is going to be below as well. So thank you very much to everyone supporting us, and thank you for supporting this channel. See you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.